The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phone. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas.
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, 4th day of March, 2020. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. If you cannot see the screen I have up, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that'll give you one-click access to the show each and every day. Now, on the days that you're out of the office, away from the desktop, point any internet-connected browser to cfrn.net/live, and there you'll find a live, real-time simulcast of the show as it unfolds. We also stream live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and we're very happy to announce that we are now streaming live as well on the TradingView platform. The format of the show is going to change here over the next couple of days. We're still getting everything set up properly on the TradingView platform. So the portion of the programming where we talk about equities, individual stocks, and where we take a broader look at the indices, we're going to do that up front. We're going to talk with John each day at the beginning of the show. And then once we're finished with John and with the TradingView platform, we will continue the broadcast on our other charting platform until we get everything converted over. Now, once we end the TradingView portion of the program, you can certainly continue to enjoy the show. Just go to youtube.com/CFRN/live, or just write to our site, CFRN.net/live. And with that, let's see if John is in yet. And if so, I will get his microphone open. Okay. Don't see him yet. All right, let me go ahead and get a chart up. Make sure you can see that. There we go. So again, I've been using the TradingView platform now for quite some time. It is an incredible platform. So many options, so many different things you can do, from scripts to templates to the amazing number of brokerage firms that you can connect with. The list goes on and on. So we've been using it here on the program for the last couple of years. We're moving in the direction of where we will use it exclusively for the program going forward, both for equities and for futures. If you want more information about anything we do here at CFRN, you can always call us at 949-42-EMINI. You can send an email to support@CFRN.net, and Valerie will certainly be happy to take care of you. So let me round up John, and we'll get this show underway. We'll still be covering all of the Concierge Trade Alerts, the Logic 247 alerts. Michael will still do a recap of everything that happened in the live training room this morning. The show will be the same as always, just in a little different format. Starting with John instead of starting as we normally do with Michael. Okay. All right. So still waiting for John to log in. Let me do this. Let's go to the global markets for a moment. These are the numbers from around the world, the cash markets, the indices. You can't trade them. You can't trade an index. I know that sounds odd, but it's the truth. Man had to create derivatives so that the index could be traded. And that's what we specialize in, futures. Of course, there's other derivatives, options. So, here in the U.S., let me refresh my data, make sure we got current numbers. And yes, the Dow currently up 544 points. It's a little over 2%. NASDAQ is up 138. That's 1.5%. S&P 500 is up 54. It's almost 2%. And the Russell 2000 is up 9. In the commodity basket, crude oil down 19 cents, trading 46.99 last. Gold down $1.60, trading 1642.80 last. In the Asian markets at the close, Nikkei posted a gain of 17 points. Shanghai gained 18. Hang Seng lost 62. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE finished the session up 97 points. That's a gain of almost 1.5%. The DAX was up 142. There's a gain of a little over 1%. And the CAC added 71, a gain of 1.25%. So that gives us a mixed day in Asia. It is a green day in the UK. And it's a big green radio Wednesday here in the US of A. I think John may have logged in. Okay, he's with us now. So, John, your mic's open. Welcome to the show.
Thanks very much. Sorry, I actually didn't get your what you call it today. That stumped me a bit, just for a second.
Okay.
You know, your invite.
Yeah, right. I got you.
Yep. So, look, I actually wasn't surprised that we did another one of these Sunday nighters last night. The market dropped quite a lot, right at about 6 o'clock, and it sort of stabilized, and then it started creeping higher, clawing its way higher. I think the market actually liked the fact that Biden is winning all these states.
Did that surprise you?
A little bit. No, not really. I was kind of thinking that Biden was going to, kind of with all these endorsements, and obviously there's been a lot of background work to kind of make this happen, and they pulled it off. Then, so as the market, and look, remember the Fed dropped the rates 0.5 point. That's a pretty big deal. We haven't seen that in a long time.
When was it was Ben Bernanke, the last time we had an unexpected rate cut? That was with Helicopter Ben, right?
Yeah.
Janet Yellen never did that. Okay.
Yeah, you're looking at another 2009. I mean, we've talked about this before, where what happened, in sort of from 2008, from the rate cuts forward. Well, we got down to about $700 gold, and within 3 years we're at 1900. So the almost 3 times. I believe the same sort of thing is kind of in the works right now, and as a result of that, if we get a double on gold, we're looking at 3,400 from here, and if we get a 2.5, we're looking at 4,000, and some people have come up with 4,000 as a potential target. And it could be a faster cycle this time because there's a lot more things, there's a lot more debt, there's a lot more issues, and the curse I need to reverse, the curse of, I got it wrong, maybe I was looking at some distorted charts or something, because there's not much data to work with back in 1921. But the fact of the matter is, we are actually running, most of the stuff that happened in the first 2 decades happened very similarly. We had obviously a lot of euphoria coming into the 20th century, 1900, and the market rallied up to 1902 or so. Then there was a panic of 1903. Then there was a rally to 1906 or so, and then we had another crash in 07. So we're 2 years ahead. We're 2 years behind the cycle of last century, and that's interesting because guess when the market topped out in the last century was actually 18, right after the war. You think it would go up, but it went down and it crashed all the way back to the equivalent of the 1907 lows, the 2009 lows. So obviously this is something, because we're right there at this two-year happening right now. I would call it the curse of the early 20s rather than the 21, and that's probably what's going on here. Now, for the time being, this decline has been interrupted, and if you put up ASML, Dwayne, that's a kind of like the Intel of Europe.
Okay. All right, you want that on a daily, John?
Yeah, just a daily, I guess. Yeah, I mean, look, this thing looks. I mean, if it gaps up, tomorrow, and it could, because the way we're going today, I mean, we're up 600. We've had a few little pullbacks, but the market seems to be pulling higher, and after this rate cut yesterday, we had an initial reaction, and then we came back, and look at where we are today. So the market's got, kind of gone back to somewhat of a normality. I think Trump is just on, they kind of stuck it to him, and somebody included the death from the Diamond Princess, of the people on that, to the U.S. death toll, and that distorted what's actually happening, because I think it's only 1 or 2 versus the 9 or 10 in the States. So actual people here in the States, the death toll is maybe 1 or 2 right now. Sorry for that, but that's the case. So the big news is, and this is something you have to keep in mind, without getting too tortured about this market, is the number of recoverers is more than 50,000 now. It's about 51, 52,000, and it's actually going up by many thousands per day. I mean, it's going up like 4,000 recoveries per day, and the number of, the actual number is 94,000 approximately of cases. Now these are the official numbers. The unofficial may be much worse, but that's the case right now. And the actual Chinese new cases are almost negligible. So, they've had a 3-month hurricane, if you like, and the hurricane appears to be past. And if everything they're telling us is true, they may have gotten gotten control of this thing. Since the cycle is starting, or really call it the beginning of March, from most countries where they're starting to, go up in their numbers, April, May, with the weather and everything, maybe if this is a 3-month cycle, it could be gone before we know it. So the market's probably digesting all this kind of stuff, which is why we're not a lot lower this week, and in fact we're substantially higher. So the Apple and that ASML and some of these other things.
Apple, take a look at what's going on with Apple.
Yeah. Right,
and
that's good. That pullback yesterday and the effort to recover today is actually quite bullish. If we sort of end up near the highs of the day, you never know, that it could be some news overnight we don't know about just yet that could cause the market to gap up tomorrow. And remember, we did outline these views last week. At the depths of despair, we said, don't be surprised if this thing, rebounds violently in a kind of a V bottom, because, technically, look, there's enough stimulus in the market already, but with what they just did, they're adding to it, and then you've got this intervention all around the world. I mean, there's no telling what could be, you saw, look, when we had that other correction, remember that first pullback in Apple, right? And then we went up to new highs. If you go to the NASDAQ, actually, if you can.
Yeah. NASDAQ. Now, do you want to look at, what do you want to look at?
We'll just put the regular NASDAQ up. That'll probably
you want to
work.
just look at the NQ?
Oh no, that's a different thing. That's not the NASDAQ.
All right, which one? Tell me which one you want.
The NASDAQ futures, if you can.
Well, that is the NQ.
Sorry, the NQ. My apologies. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Here's the NQ. Do you want to? Let's go with a continuous contract. That way you can pull in as much data as you would like.
All right. What I'm getting at is, when we had this first pullback, the first scare, if you like, right? Look at how much higher we went, right?
Mm-hmm.
And remember that bottom, one of those bottoms, was the news that there might be 1.5 million infected and 50,000 dead. So when that news came out, the market rallied pretty strongly. And then this, the worst news sort of came out a few days ago, and look how much we've rallied since. So another day up, if we can get up towards 9,200 tomorrow, this thing starts to repair itself considerably, and potentially sets us up for we did say that it's not inconceivable that we could have a stronger March, possibly, before this crash happened. We thought we might go to new highs, but
Right.
let's call it a stronger March. And with all this stuff going on, the rate cut is important. It's obviously important for gold. But markets in general, look, the Fed's got our back, and that is the bottom line. So you can't fight the Fed now.
Yeah, this NQ, John, along with all the other markets, this leg down that we took last week, what do we have? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions in the red. Now, the reverse fib, we bounced to the 50% fib retracement. We spiked it just a little bit. And now we're building that potential leg to the downside that I was talking about yesterday that could send us back to test these lows.
Yep. Okie doke. So, I totally agree with you there. And look, you have to keep in mind that this is only a 1/3 rally so far. If it keels over from here, we're going to have another down leg, whether you like it or not. So, because I don't think, I'm almost certain we'll have another down leg. By the way, that bottom that was made, we had the worst breadth on that down day last Friday.
Which one?
Last Thursday.
Right here?
Last Thursday. Yeah.
27th, right?
That was the worst breadth I've ever seen on the market, ever. Worse than 2008, worse than anything we've ever seen. And as a result of that, we obviously the low we made the following day was made on much higher breadth. So we have a legitimate bottom there, that actually one could argue is one that can be built on. So, but I wanted to point that out. This was actually, I think it was honestly the worst breadth in the history of the market, maybe ever. So, I think we were down minus like 3,000. Normally, 2,400 is about it on a plus minus of advances to decline, and this was I think it hit 3,200, maybe even towards 4,000. It was just staggering. So in a way, that's actually a very bullish thing, because it's kind of like bloodletting, if you like, and then it was like the maximum point of weakness, if you would. So right now, unfortunately, I lost some of my data, but we're still hanging in there around 600, down 600. I guess the market is saying, Biden is obviously the preferred candidate to Bernie, because Bernie is very, he's the $8,000 gold guy, and maybe $8,000 Dow. So obviously the market has gotten a lot of encouragement from somebody who is more centrist or more conservative, and that tends to be the way the Dems go towards the election. As the election gets nearer, they're going to go more centrist and even a bit right-wing. So as far as Biden's chances against Trump, you can never say never. But this is sort of like a Mondale type of thing.
Walter Mondale. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
Exactly. You never remember.
You never remember them.
Or the guy, the Greek guy. What was his name? The one who they always used the picture in the tank. The fellow from Massachusetts.
Gosh, I should know that.
Yeah, right. But these guys, these failed candidates, they sort of fail. They kind of go into obscurity. I mean, Biden's obviously got a lot more name recognition because he is the ex-vice president. And the other thing is, look, ex-vice presidents do win elections. They're sort of like the shoe-in, and it's a sort of a rite of passage. So obviously that's something that has to be factored into the equation. But given, I mean, as long as we don't get derailed between now and the election, and too much, and as long as Trump, does as good a job as he's doing right now, trying to control all this, it's going to be hard to shift him. So, and he's gaining a lot of traction with the black community and the Hispanics. So, it could be a landslide. It could be setting up for a landslide where Joe just doesn't feature. But on the other hand, you cannot rule out people. I mean, this is a sentiment thing. This is an electric thing. If things really go bad, it could threaten the election for sure. So all of these things are you have to bear in mind all the time. Some of the these travel stocks and the cruise lines, and you might actually put up a CCL, Dwayne, if you wouldn't mind.
CCL, okay. Carnival.
Yeah, I mean,
is this the cruise line?
Yeah. And actually, it sort of had it coming. I mean, they're building all these incredible new ships and everything, but take a look at the history of that. Go back to the monthly, and this was a pretty safe short, this year, as it turns out. If you could squeeze it up more,
sure.
For the history.
So we go back to 1988.
So no, what I was actually getting at was from like 2018, this thing's like being in a downtrend. That's what I was kind of wanting to point out.
I got you.
Yeah. So it's really a tough place for those companies. RCL, I think RCL is just as bad. That's Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, not a good time to be in the cruise ship business.
Yeah, look at that. That's really taken a tumble. And then United Airlines, UAL.
I read somewhere yesterday, if you're in China, you can fly across the entire country for something crazy thing like $20 or something.
Could be.
I mean, they're just that doesn't even make sense. I mean,
I was actually supposed to be in court today in Massachusetts, and I was going to have to get on an airplane. Unfortunately, my lawyer got it pushed off for 2 or 3 weeks.
well,
But I was just going to drive. I wasn't getting on an airplane.
So, actually, can you put up Adobe, ADBE?
You bet.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't look too bad, that chart. If you go to a daily, probably looks a lot like Apple.
They've changed the way they run their company. Their apps
very
have
similar.
become,
All these, look, with that big gap, I think this is important to realize this. With the big gap that we've seen with Apple and these companies, obviously, if these things don't go higher, if they roll over, we're really going to have a pretty severe downturn, because that structure is basically the only thing holding up this chart right now, and all the other similar charts. Maybe you can put the SOXL up, see what that looks like. Semiconductor index.
SOXL.
Oh, yeah.
Go on a daily.
Yeah, that's a lot worse, that chart. That kind of really tells you this rally stays maybe numbered. Its hours may be numbered.
Yeah, I mean, if this virus suddenly dried up today and just disappeared, what is to come as far as supply chain interruptions and all of that? This is going to hobble the economy for some time to come. The bad news is it's not going to magically disappear, and it's major events are being canceled. I think I just read this morning, Italy is thinking about closing all schools nationwide.
Yeah, they're going to have to do stuff like that. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to just close the schools for a couple of months,
Well, especially with the with the internet,
yeah.
there's no reason that any school child should miss anything if they have to stay home, as long as they have access to a computer and the internet.
Right. Can you put Alta ULTA?
But
Sure.
but all schools includes like the elementary and middle schools. And
Yeah. Yeah.
a few years ago, well, probably like 6-7 years ago, the flu was really bad in the town that I was in, and they shut down my kid's school for a week so they could clean the school. And it was, well, I mean, of course that's no big deal. They just go to school a little longer. But and I imagine that's what they would do in Italy. If they shut down the schools for a month, they wouldn't have a summer vacation. Not that I know that they do, because I know a lot of schools over there go year round. But just a thought.
Yeah. Can you put Lulu up, Dwayne?
Lululemon. There you go.
Yeah, you see that I mean, that's obviously these companies are potentially severely impacted by this thing, and they're not rallying.
Is there manufacturing in China?
Actually, Roku.
Is Lulu's manufacturing in China, John?
Well, they got a lot of stuff going on over there. I think all their stores are closed in China right now.
Starbucks reopened their locations in China, didn't they?
Yeah, why don't we look at Roku first?
There's Roku, yeah.
Yeah, Roku's having a real tough time. It's been a good trading. There's been a few rallies, but it really looks like it's probably going to go down to
but this looks like it's more than virus related.
Yeah, it is.
There's some other internal
I mean,
problems
that sell on the earnings day was really devastating to Roku, and it's suffering as a result of that. I see Agio is going up today. Let's have a look at AGIO.
There we go.
Yeah, actually, that stock looks quite good.
This may be ready to go up and close that little gap.
Yeah. Have a look at FTSB.
B?
V, Victor.
Gotcha.
Yeah, what an amazing chart. This thing was $5 back in the fall, and it got taken over for $94 by Gilead, G-I-L-D. If you could put Gilead up.
So 47 was bought out by Gilead?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. There's Gilead.
And the fact that Gilead's going up on the news is really, really impressive, because normally these stocks go down.
After that daily dark cloud cover, that's a candlestick term for that. This thing has actually rebounded pretty nicely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough stock to trade, but it kind of feels like it's going to go higher here. When companies make good takeovers, I mean, listen, I mean, it took them a while to get their arms around it, but imagine paying the premium they did on that stock, 100% premium over the previous close, and how much that stock's gone up, and they still bought it, and people think it's still a good trade or a good deal. Is really incredible. It's very unusual. So it kind of looks like, remember, Gilead has got a pretty good chance of being a very big deal because of its remdesivir drug, which is being tested right now on the COVID patients. Mm-hmm. I believe it is working now already. I think it's knocking this thing out. So the question is, look, if 50,000 people have recovered out of 90, that's pretty incredible right there. But if they can get to the 14% serious cases and cure them with this remdesivir, then this thing is over, potentially. So, and this is going to be a very, very big deal, this company. So there's another one that actually bought this stock yesterday. I was a bit late to the game. INO, we've talked about it before. I think I said on this show that I thought it would go higher. It took off yesterday.
Yeah, it did take off.
Yeah. And it may not be over by a long shot.
If this thing closes with the daily doji, I would be cautious.
Yeah, I agree.
A doji can be a continuation signal, but given the context, I mean, we had this base building for, let me shrink it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's taken a long while to
Yeah. Now, this is earnings based. This boost that we got. Or
no,
is it
that's
some of the news?
well, no, they were in the meeting at the White House
Okay.
day before
All right.
yesterday.
Okay.
They will start vaccine trials in April. That's why the stock took off yesterday. They're ahead. They're the leader. In terms of time, there's nobody near them. If that vaccine turns out to be successful, if it works, this company could go to $100 a share or more. It could be a really, really big deal. So that's kind of the story on that one.
Okay. Anything else you want to look at?
No, listen, thanks very much, Dwayne. Appreciate the chance, and welcome to all the new viewers on TradingView.
Yes. We're certainly honored to be a part of the TradingView community now, and all of our charts and our indicators will get converted over, and we'll be doing the show full time. For now, when we do the recap of the live training room, and when I do the recap of the Concierge Trade Alerts and the Logic 247 alerts, we'll still have to use our other platform for that. And so, folks, don't go away. The show is going to continue, but I am going to stop the stream on TradingView. If you want to continue, just go to our homepage, CFRN.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that'll give you one-click access to the entire show each and every day. So, John, thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll talk with you tomorrow.
Okay, thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Yeah. And John, I'll give you a call a little later on.
Okay, much obliged. Thanks.
All right, so to the TradingView community, if you have any questions about anything, give us a call at 949-42-EMINI, or send Valerie an email, support@cfrn.net. If you're not getting the results out of your trading that you had hoped for, dreamed of, there's probably a good reason. Futures Magazine published an article back in 2006 that said 9 out of 10 new traders fail. I was pretty stumped by that. No one disputed the numbers. Everyone just nodded their head and accepted it because it's the truth. But I was curious. Inquiring minds want to know. So I set out on a journey to figure out why any career path, any industry could have a failure rate that astronomical. That's even the Navy SEALs. Got to be the toughest job in the world. You're going to have a 90% failure rate there. Well, after a lot of research, it turned out it was really quite simple. 9 out of 10 new traders fail because they've never had anyone teach them how to trade. Now, unless you're Russian, if someone asked you to speak Russian right now, you'd probably fail because nobody ever taught you how to speak Russian. I mean, think about it. It's so simple, but yet we've all done it. We've gone through the self-teaching and loading up the account, and blowing up the account, loading up the account, and blowing up the. We're always just one mouse click away from greatness. The fastest way to get from where you are to where you want to be is to actually have someone commit themselves to teaching you how to trade. Our partners, our members, our passport holders have access every day to live training. It's 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Unlimited one-on-one mentoring. Our proprietary methodology, our indicators, around the clock alerts in all of the Emini markets, gold, crude, sometimes even copper, and even the euro and the pound from time to time. That journey begins at emitrainingschool.com. Go there, fill out the little form. Valerie will send you a link and a password, and you can be in the live training room with us tomorrow morning at the opening bell. So that's it for today for the TradingView portion of our programming. So let me stop that stream, and we'll see you back here tomorrow, same time. Okie doke. All right, Michael, we're ready to pass the charts off to you. If you're ready, you can go ahead and grab them. But I don't hear you, so you might be on mute.
I said, okay, I got it. And we had a very good day today.
Awesome.
So I'll go through it all right now.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get this. Here it is. All right, here we go. You ready?
Yep, it's all yours.
Okay. All right, if you guys have not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go to the home page at CFRN.net. Over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. Or you can scroll down to where it says free 5-day trial, use our proprietary indicators for free, and there's one more down at the bottom. But anyway, if you click on any of them, it's going to bring you here to what Dwayne just said, eminitrainingschool.com. On this page, we have a bunch of information for you. And if you scroll down here, it says live Emini training. All we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number, and you can tell us your biggest trading challenge so we can tailor one-on-one training specifically for you. Hit that send button and you'll be sent a confirmation link. Okay, you must hit the confirmation link. Right? Once you hit that, then we know that you took the free trial. Otherwise, we don't know that you took the free trial. So you got to do that. Okay. For some reason, my spreadsheet went away. But now I'm going to jump into the spreadsheet. Hang on. We had a great day today. I mean, we started off, our first trade was just great. And I will get into all of that. There we go. Here we go. Okay, so this is a spreadsheet. And this spreadsheet goes back to January 2nd of 2013. It's our daily results going all the way back there. Okay. So if you want to see what we've done, I mean, you can see it all. It's all color coded and everything. Yellow means we didn't get the goal for the day, but we ended positive. Red means we didn't get the goal for the day, and we ended negative. And blue, we had a blue day back here. Blue means we got the goal for the day, but we gave it all back and ended negative. But you can see most of the days are green. And today is the 4th day of March 2020. Today we made 16 ticks in the euro. We lost 2 ticks in crude. We made 2 ticks in gold. And we had, what did we have? 56 ticks in the ES. Okay, so we ended with plus 800 on the day. That's one contract, 2 hours per day. And, we would have been better if I would have just focused on one market. But I was jumping around, and at one point we were positive on crude. But then I was doing too many things, and I ended up taking a 4-tick loss, and I'll go through that in a minute. So today it took 6 minutes and 1 trade to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $400 a contract, and we took 16 trades today. So there was a lot of trading going on. So on the month now, we're up $1,535. That's over 3 days, averaging $511 per day. Now I know a lot of you guys say, okay, well, does that include commission? What about the commission? Right over here on this side, going back years, it says right here at the top, with an $8 commission, we'd have a net profit of $1,300 so far. With a $5 commission, we'd have a net profit of $1,390. Okay, that's because we've only gone 3 days so far. So now you got to think about it in those terms. On the year now, we're at $8,487. That's over 39 days, averaging $217 per day. Again, that's one contract, 2 hours per day. Okay, one contract, 2 hours per day. All right, so let's get into it. There was a lot of activity today. I highlighted a lot of trades. I took a lot of trades. Okay, here we go. We're going to start out with gold. Now on gold, our first trade was right here, and we picked up 10 ticks on that. Then we missed that little bit, would have been a break even. Missed that, would have been a break even. There was a short here that would have been a break even. Just jumping through it all. There was a long here that would have been profitable. Looks like a short here that would have been a break even. And we did have a break even right there. There was a short here that would have been profitable. You would have had to suffer through it. Another short here that would have been profitable. Another short here that would have been profitable. Another short here that would have been profitable. A long here that we stopped out on. A long here that would have been a break even. And that was pretty much the morning session. Okay, it ended right here with another short that would have worked out just fine. During the break, well, you know what? There were a lot of trades, and yeah. Okay, so the euro will start out here at 9.30 on the euro. Okay, now right here, I wouldn't want to take this because the cycle's flat and going sideways. So I would skip that. Here, the black step line crossed below, so I skip that. This leg down didn't give us a trade setup. This is just using the trade setups that we do in the morning. Now, this leg down would have definitely given us a trade setup if we were doing the other trades. And, you have to become a partner to learn what the other trades are. You don't have to. I'll teach you. But anyway, on this one here, we picked up 8 ticks. We missed the follow-up trade. It didn't put in a higher swing. I was really looking for that. When it pulled back too deep, turned the cycle down. Over here, we picked up another 8 ticks. Then we had a break even right here. And we missed a trade right there. That would have given us something, some kind of profit. Missed a trade here. That would have given us some profit. And then it started to get kind of sideways. It's going down. It's still in a downtrend. But we really should have gotten down below this level right here. Okay, it's recovering from it. So right now we have lower highs and higher lows. But right now at this very moment, it's about to put in a lower low. And that would be a good thing for the euro. Well, not a good thing. It would be just a downtrend for the euro. Okay, and now crude. I'm going to back crude out a little bit because it's been a little crazy today. And the ES too. When I get to the ES. Hang on. Okay. On crude, we missed this short here that would have been profitable. This short that would have been profitable. We took this long that stopped us out. We missed this long, which would have been beautiful, and that one. I mean, definitely putting us back in the green. And it took a while. There was crude inventories came out today at 10:30. It didn't really move the market all that much. But then we picked up 10 ticks here to put us back in the green. And then this is where I made my mistake. And I lost 4 ticks. And that put us down 2. Okay, this one, we picked up 10 here to put us at +2. And I lost 4 here. And ended up with -2. And then we get in here, and the slingshot's not letting us do anything. And then we get into the break. And during the break, you can see crude just tanked. And it's bouncing off the bottoms right now. And that was our day in crude. We ended up with -2 in crude. Now the ES, well, I got a lot to say about the ES today. Hold on. Let it reload and give me more data. Okay, that went too far. Here we go. Now, on the ES, there were a bunch of opportunities today, but our very first one, we shorted right here, and we picked up 32 ticks on that. Okay, there was another one right after that we could have done, but I was writing down in my log what I had done. And it was bouncing all over the place again, 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row, actually. And there was more opportunity than I actually took advantage of. You know, there was a long opportunity right there, a long opportunity here that I missed. And this is all in the first 15 minutes. You know, the first 15 minutes were plus 32. And then, hang on, we're getting to it. I missed a short there, I missed a short there. Both would have made money. I picked up 4 ticks here to put us at plus 36. Then we had some high impact news come out. And, you know, it's just a shame that I missed that. But, you know, when the ES is really bouncing around like that, or any of the charts are really bouncing around like that, and you have our indicators, you got to look at the slingshot. You got to follow the slingshot because it's going to tell you what's happening. Okay, you know, price is going to be bouncing around, and so it's going to go up and down over the MA1, over the BBC, below the BBC. You know, the YBR trades, they are pretty reliable. When the market's bouncing around like crazy and you're not going to overtrade, that's something that you got to worry about. Okay, like right here, you know, we had red on the YBR, we had a down close, and we had bearish separation. Bang, trade setup. All right, now I'm waiting to get to the next trade. We're only at 10 o'clock so far. And I took 7 trades today on the ES. And, you know, and I missed a whole bunch. Like there was one right here, there was one right here. One right here. Now I missed them because I was going over stuff because it's a training room. And, you know, and I want to help people learn how to trade. Okay, so I'm showing you how to trade. You know, there were trade setups. Look at the slingshot down here. Right there. Trade setup. Trade setup. Trade setup. Trade setup. It's like screaming at you. Anyway, I'm scrolling, trying to get to the end here. And, you know, more trade setups that I identified during the room. Then we picked up 12 ticks here. No, 8 ticks here, I think, to get us to 44. And trade setup. See, look, right here. Trade setup. That one didn't actually set up. Trade setup. Trade setup. Anyway. Finally, we get over here, and this was toward the end of the session. We stopped out right here. -8 ticks put us back to plus 44. And then we had a break even right here. And then we had a plus 12 right here to put us at plus 56 on the morning session. Okay, and that's where we stopped, I think. Yeah, See, there was a long trade here, a long trade here, a long trade here, and then the cycle wasn't letting you trade long anymore. And now over here, it said short trade here, and then it wasn't letting you go short anymore. Okay, short trade here, short trade here, short trade here. You just got to look at the slingshot and follow the slingshot when the markets start getting crazy like that. And that was it. You know, I'm not going to go through the whole break because, well, it would take a very long time. But a long trade right there during the break, and a short trade here during the break. Okay. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up for the morning session. We had a great day this morning, and we missed a ton of trades. But, you know, it's a training room. So I'm in there to train you and teach you how to trade. You know, by letting me do it. And then, of course, I want to get my goal for the day every day. So I got to do that. And once I do that, then I go more into training mode. Okay. And with that, I will bring this back up. And here we go. Today is the 4th day of March 2020. And we made 16 ticks in the euro, lost 2 ticks in crude, made 2 ticks in gold, and 56 ticks on the ES. That put us up $800 a contract this morning. Today it took 6 minutes and 1 trade to get the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $400 a contract, and we took a total of 16 trades. On the month, we're up $1,535. That's over 3 days, averaging $511 per day. On the year, we are now up $8,487. That's over 39 days, averaging $217 per day. $217 per day. Okay. Now, if you have not taken the free trial, go to the home. Well, you can go to the homepage at CFRN.net. I'm not there right now. And in the right-hand column, or any of the places where it says go take free trial, click on those buttons. They're going to be big and green. And it's going to say eminitrainingschool.com. Okay. On eminitrainingschool.com, all you have to do is scroll down where it says name, email, phone, and you can tell us your biggest trading challenge so we can tailor one-on-one training just for you. Because during the trial, you do get free one-on-one training. All right, hit the send button and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on that confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. So you got to do that. All right. And that's it. With that, we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready.
Yes, sir. I am ready.
And it's Wednesday, so who do we have coming on right now at 1?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody
Okay.
today. Tomorrow is Dr. Tom Day. Garrett sometimes pops in on Wednesdays, but I haven't heard from him today. So.
Okay. All right. Well,
he's got a hot link, so if he comes in, he can, or he used to. I don't know if he does. No, I think the last time he came in under an ordinary link. Let me just check real quick.
well I know he's not in the organizer link.
Yeah. No, I haven't spoken to him today.
Okay.
Okie doke. All right, so recap of the recap.
Today it took 1 trade and 6 minutes to make $400 a contract.
That's a good bingo.
That is. It's a good way to start the day. And there was so much opportunity. You know, you guys that are not partners, you know, I know most of you that are out there right now are, but those of you who are not, you should be. There is so much opportunity. And right now is like awesome. In between now and the election, I have a feeling it's going to be a good summer.
It's going to be a year with a lot of opportunity. I agree 100%.
Yes.
This is a daily chart, folks, of the S&P 500. We had a bearish cross back February 26, 27, February 26. Worst week, I think they say, in history. And then we caught a bounce at an area that we, just based on reading the chart, that we thought we might find support at, and in fact did. So we bounced to the 50% Fibonacci retracement. We're printing a green candle. Where's the down leg? Well, look where the BBC is. It's up here at the 62% fib. So if we can take out that spike high put in yesterday, then right here will be about as fine a window of opportunity as you'll likely find. Now we'll call it 3145 up to 3170. 3145 to 3170. So if that were to trigger, it's about a 25-point trade, which is not a bad day's work. So again, we've got to get through this 50% reverse fib. We've got to get through that spike high put in yesterday. That opens the window of opportunity. And then what we anticipate is that we'll find resistance at the BBC. When we approach it from above, we anticipate support until proven otherwise. And when we approach it from below, we anticipate resistance until proven otherwise. And how's that working out, you say? Well, pretty good now for quite a number of years. 2008 and even before. Trading's not easy, but it can be simple. It can be whatever you want it to be. Here's the only thing it can't be, no matter how much you want it to be, if you don't take the necessary steps. If you would like to be a consistently profitable trader, hoorah. However, the stumbling block to any profession, you just don't walk in one day and say, I'm a pilot, and start flying planes. I could go through a whole laundry list of every profession in the world, but I won't, because you get the idea. If you want to be a trader, then find somebody that's willing to teach you how to trade. Otherwise, you'll end up doing what 90% or 9 out of 10 traders do, and that's fail. And that's a shame, because it doesn't have to be that way. The really good news is you can get started today with no money out of pocket, no interest and no payments for 6 months. Now, that opportunity is provided by our partner PayPal. Okay. During the checkout process, as you sign up to become a passport holder, they will extend the opportunity to you, and then of course you take it from there. All right, let's have a look at the Concierge Trade Alerts from last night. Or actually, this is Logic 247 for the week. Okay. As of 12 noon, so far this week, 23 total alerts issued. 5 are 2 never triggered. 5 are still in process. So we've had 16 actionable alerts so far this week. And so far nothing has stopped out. Now that's not an ordinary week. Typical week, we see about 20% of Logic 247 alerts that do get stopped out. I'll show you what this week's alerts look like. Last week, which was week 82, this is how we finished up. 25 actionable alerts, 2 of them were stopped out. So 8% of actionable alerts were stopped out. That brings us to this week, which is week 83. We start Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, when Globex opens. It's a global marketplace today. So if you're not taking advantage of the Globex sessions, you're missing some of the best opportunities out there. So the London Open is 3 a.m. Eastern, and I know no one really wants to get up at 3 a.m. and trade, but sometimes you do what you have to do, and I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just saying it's an option available to you. Now, we have members and partners all over the world, so when we're asleep, that's, the middle of their trading day kind of thing. It's just nice to know that from Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern until Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern, you can go to the charts, you can go to Telegram, and you can trade opportunity as it presents itself. So Sunday night, this past Sunday night, we started out with a buy on the S&P, buy on the Dow, buy on the Russell, buy on the NQ. We had a crude that never triggered. We had a gold that never triggered. And there's a buy on the S&P, a buy on the Dow, a buy on the Russell, buy on the S&P, buy on the Russell, buy on the NQ, buy on crude, buy on the S&P. This must be one of those in waiting. There's the Dow, long. Now we hedged this ES with a short. Thumbs up means we reached the target. The little Z's means it never triggered. Red X means it was stopped out. So there's crude again. There's S&P, Russell, NQ, and crude. So we're still waiting on these to come together. Now, that's the Logic 247 alerts for this week. We also have the Concierge Trade Alerts. And as a passport holder, you have both of those. Here's the difference. On the Logic 247 alerts, those are around the clock. You might get an alert at 2 a.m., you might get one at 2 p.m. Okay? The alerts are posted as opportunity presents itself. The Concierge Trade Alerts are a little bit different, and if you want to grab a screenshot of the alerts from last night, I'm going to drag it up to the big screen, and you can do that. So these went out last night at 7:50 p.m. Eastern to every CFRN passport holder. Okay, got it? Okay. All right. Now the Concierge Trade Alerts. Those numbers are good for the entire session until the next set of numbers come out the following day. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. Now, last night, we had a bullish cross right here. That put price above the BBC, that's the green line, bull-bear cross, okay? When price crosses below that green line, we anticipate lower prices. That's every market, every time frame. Everything we do is fluid across all markets and all time frames. So last night, when price got above the BBC, we go from a bearish bias to a bullish bias. We anticipate higher prices. And that's what the market has given us so far. So last night's alert on the S&P, every one of our traders got the go-ahead to be long 30.43. $30.43. There we go. All right. As I said, important prices, important areas are almost always tested. That means you have multiple opportunities, most days, to take advantage of the alerts We've done the same 8 markets for 6+ years now. S&P, Dow, Russell, NQ, crude, gold, bonds, and soybeans. So, last night's alert was to be long 3043 on the initial trigger, the first one. We put in a swing high at 3047. So that's a 4.5 point opportunity that the market made available. Then price got back below the trigger, and you'll notice not only did it get below the trigger, it came down to the weekly trading zone at 3033/34. Really, this is about as good as it gets. Bullish cross. Price rises above a weekly trading zone, pulls back, confirms good support. See, when price approaches a weekly zone from below, we expect it to be good resistance until it isn't. This is what it looks like when it suddenly isn't. Okay? So bullish cross, price pulls away, price pulls back to touch, back up to the trigger at 3043. And this swing took us all the way to 74. So that would be 31 points. That's what the market made available. And then what does price do? It does what price does. It gets back below the trigger and puts in a swing high at 3070. So I'm guessing that's about 27 points, give or take. We'll call it 26 just to be conservative. Alexa, what's 26 times 50? Alexa, what's 26 times 50?
26 times 50 is 1,300.
Okay, so that was a $1,300 per contract move. Price then gets back below the trigger, and then it stands and delivers one more time. Alexa, 85 minus 43. Alexa, are you mad?
Of course not.
Okay.
We're friends.
That's what I thought. Okay. 85 minus 43. Alexa, 85 minus 43, please.
85 minus 43 is 42.
Thank you so much. 42 times 50, please. Alexa, 42 times 50, please.
42 times 50 is 2,100.
All right, so $2,000 move, 42 points. That's per
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Okay, all right, we'll go back to sleep. Thank you very much. Okay, now, remember I said important prices, important areas are almost always tested. Now, it's not just today. Today, so we had one. And then we had 2. And then we had 3. And then we had 4. Now, we do this very same recap every single day, right here on the show. If you're new to the show, you can always go to youtube.com/CFRN. You can watch any show for any day for the past, I guess, about 4 or 5 years now. And as you'll see, as I do the daily recap each day, our our Concierge Trade Alert numbers are unique in the respect that, well, I don't know if you receive alerts or if you've ever had any kind of an alert service. They tend to be a one-trick pony. I mean, you know, you get the alert, it happens, you're done. Our numbers are derived a little differently. So, just going back to this day, what day was it? March 1st. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And the day before that was the short side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I could keep going, but it will take forever. But as you can see, same scenario. Okay. All right. So back to today. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and this last one was, the market made 42 points available so far. Now, price appears to be on a mission. Seems like it's trying to go somewhere. The next weekly trading zone overhead is 3093/94. There we go. That's how it works. Price goes from zone to zone to zone to zone, day after day, week after week. That's how they roll. Okay, so high probability opportunity available right now on the S&P. Price is trading 3087. Well, right on up to 3093. At 3093, you should anticipate some resistance, because that's what happens when price approaches the BBC from below. We expect it to be good resistance until it isn't. Same thing with a weekly trading zone. As you can see here, as price, first we consolidated. Only 3 things happen at a weekly trading zone. The most likely thing to happen is consolidation. That's where price just spends a minute. Or these are 30-minute candles, or a few hours, as long as it takes to determine if the next move is going to be to the zone overhead or the zone below. Price is always trying to get to a zone, and once you're able to discern which zone price is trying to get to, our indicators help you pinpoint a high probability, low risk entry opportunity. Okay. Now, the second most likely thing, remember, only 3 things can happen at a zone. Most likely consolidation. Second most likely is rejection, where all you have touching the zone is just the wick. Okay. The third, the least likely, but it certainly does happen, is what we call, see, and here's the zone again, just doing what it does, price doing what it does, just simply going from zone to zone, back to the zone. Let me see if I got a slice here. A slice, I don't see one right in front of me, so I won't waste any time, but the next time when we come across one, I'll point it out. That's when price slices through a zone like it's not even there. When that happens, when that move runs out of steam, we expect a retracement to the zone, because let's say we just sliced right up through here. Okay, we would then that means it failed to be good resistance, because as you can see over here, this is what we anticipate is good resistance at the zone. If it fails, which means price rips right through it, then we expect it to come back and confirm if that number is going to become good support. These are important prices, important areas. They will be revisited again and again and again. Now, if you're long this move, if you took this trade from 30.43 to 30.93, that's a 50-point trade at $50 a point. That's $2,500 per contract traded. If you've earned the right to trade 10 contracts, it's a $25,000 move. But don't put the cart before the horse, because that's always awkward for the cart and the horse and you. All of our partners who come to us for training start out in the simulator. There's no risk of losing the money that you've put together to start your trading business. As you learn our methodology, we want you to put together 10 consecutive days in a row where you reach your goal in 10 trades or less. Once you do that, the 2420 blueprint will give you the green light to go live with one contract. Then the goal is to increase your account balance by $2,000. Once you accomplish that, it's time to add the second contract. So you've doubled your daily goal. We teach a $100 daily goal. That's 2 points in the S&P. That's 10 ticks in crude or gold. You can pick a number, but it has to be realistic. It has to be achievable. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure. And you say, but I can't make a living off $100 a day. No, I don't believe you probably can in most parts of the world. But if you follow the 2420 blueprint, and if you step by step by step earn the right to trade 10 contracts, those 2 points, instead of $100 a day, it's $1,000 a day. The worst possible thing you could do is go and trade live money before somebody teaches you how to trade. It won't end well, I promise. You don't have to get your education from us. We very much like to help you, but just make sure you get an education somewhere. Let somebody teach you how to trade and teach you how to trade in sim to make sure you're consistently profitable before you put live money to work. Okay? Now, if you want to pick us out of the field of many contenders, 949-42 Emini, 949-42 Emini, or support at CFRN.net. Okay. All right. So here's price closing in on the target. 30.43, 30.93. It's the next weekly zone overhead. And we only have one more zone above that. So if you take our trial, we'll clue you in on that too. If you want to take the trial, just go to eminitrainingschool.com. No credit card required. Spend 5 days in the room, learn our strategy, use our indicators, receive our alerts, and figure out if what we offer is right for you. Okay? All right, now let's take a look at the Dow. What's the swing high over here so far? So far, 30.92. So 4 ticks off the target. Zones are an area. We do get accustomed at times to them churning, right at a zone. But you got to remember it's an area. So there'll be times when you come just a wee bit shy, and you may spike it. Okay. That's the important price. One of the important prices, important areas that you'll learn about as you come and hang out with us. Okay, let's go to the Dow. And those are last week's weekly trading zones. up on this chart. Our partners receive the zones every Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern. They have time to get them on the charts before Wall Street even wakes up for the week. And then once the zones are published, we don't change them, massage them, manipulate them in any way. They're carved in stone for the entire week. So by tomorrow, now that's for the partners. I reveal all of the zones to the entire audience every Thursday. So when I do that tomorrow, if you jot it down, you'll find that they might help you Thursday night, Friday, Sunday night on the Globex Open, up into Monday, Tuesday, sometimes even Wednesday, as the new zones anchor in and take control of the chart. Okay? All right. Last night's Concierge Trade Alert for the Dow was to be long 26,740. 26,740. And we just arrived. 26,740. So we're at the trigger. Okay? At the trigger. You'll use your smaller time frame. You'll pinpoint your entry. You want highest probability, lowest risk possible. Okay? Now the short side of the Dow, don't think we'll see it today, but you never know what could happen in these markets. It's down at 25,800. All right? 25,800. Okie doke. On the Russell. Last night's alert for the Russell was to be long 1502. And that's down here. 1502. Okay. Those first trigger take us up to 1515. So that's 13 points. Russell pays $50 a point. Price then gets back below the trigger. Does it again. So this is a 10-point move at $50 a point. It's 500 per contract traded. Price gets back below the trigger, finds support at last week's weekly trading zone. And we got a swing high, 1518. So 1502 to 1518, that's a 16-point move. Alexa, 16 times 50.
16 times 50 is 800.
So that's an $800 per contract move. As you earn the right to trade additional contracts, of course that number will change. All right, so we covered the S&P. We covered the Dow. Covered the Russell. Let's look at the NQ. Last night's alert for the NQ. Consider being long 87.35. $87.35. Again, important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So we get a trigger. We put in a swing high. 87.35. Again, every one of our traders got the same instructions last night. So we put in a swing high up at 88.09. Alexa, 809 minus 735.
809 minus 735 is 74.
Alexa, 74 times 20.
74 times 20 is 1,480.
Thank you.
You bet. Enjoy the sunshine.
Thanks. So this was a $1,480 per contract move. That's what the market made available. Okay. Now, what you took out of the move, from the trigger to the swing high, that's between you and your mouse. Price gets back below the trigger, bounces again, and swing high at 87.64. It's basically 30 points at $20 a point, $600 per contract traded. Back below the trigger, and the swing high is up at 87.98. Back below the trigger, another $600 move. Back below the trigger, and we're looking at about a $2,500 per contract move here. Still going. Now, it's only Wednesday, but for those of you that trade the NQ, next zone overhead, 8903/04. Hopefully you can take that information, maybe do a little something with it in sim until you're consistently profitable. Okay? So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triggers off the same number. Okay? The only one that hasn't shown the same thing we see every day yet today is the Dow, because it's just now triggering for the first time. So we did the S&P, we did the Dow, we did the Russell, we did the NQ. Let's do crude oil. Okay. Last night on crude, the alert said to consider being long 47.70. $47.70. All right. So the initial swing high, 48.05. So from 47.70, 48.05. That's a $350 per contract move. Okay. That's the first trigger. Then we get back below the trigger, trigger again. This time the swing high comes in at 48.16. So that's 40, that's a $460 per contract move. Back below the trigger, there's a $500 per contract move. Back below the trigger, there's about a $600 per contract move. And now it looks like we might be headed, too early to tell. Last night's short side for crude, the line in the sand, is 46.70. Right there. So this really gives you an idea of what I mean when I talk about important prices, important areas. You see, price marched right down to the trigger and reversed. Now it's going to take a run at it again. Okay. The bearish setup. Throw the indicators on there. Now, before I do that, we had 1, to, we have 3 triggers, okay. All right, so let me just throw the indicators on there for a second. Bearish cross, price pulls up to the BBC, gives us a down close. I'd be very comfortable with an entry at 47.10, which takes us down to the trigger at 46.70, and this is where we expect to find potential support on this leg to the downside. Of course, we've got to take out this swing low right here, this little area right here. That's an obstacle in the path of price. So we have to overcome those obstacles, and then that creates a very nice window of opportunity. Right there. And we'll look at one more from last night, gold. Gold's just sideways. It was to consider being long 1657, which we haven't touched, or short 1524, which we certainly haven't touched. If you didn't get a chance to grab a copy, screenshot, go ahead, help yourself. Those numbers remain in effect until the new numbers are issued tonight. And that's going to take us. Oh, Bloomberg dropped out of the race. I don't know if that's... Is that true? Let me make sure it's true before I say it on radio again. Bloomberg News. Michael Bloomberg quits Democratic race, ending a brief and costly bid. Oh, that news came out 3 hours ago. I just somehow missed it. So I was looking at a chart or something. Michael Bloomberg ended his campaign for president and endorsed former Vice President Joe Biden, concluding that his own path to the Democratic nomination had evaporated after he spent hundreds of millions of dollars and won no states, not even one on Super Tuesday. $500 million. Boys and the price of their toys. His numbers plunged after a debilitating clash with Senator Elizabeth Warren in a debate last month, and much of his support appeared to flee to Mr. Biden over the past few days. Well, okay. So, the question now is, do we have a clear-cut answer to the Democratic question? I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, good word for the day. Now, most of the folks in this audience are of a certain age that you're probably married, or at least have been married. But survey says most of you are married. So we'll talk about marriage for a couple days. Proverbs 18:22 says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord." If you're over 60, chances are you grew up in an era where you didn't know too many divorced couples and the subject was taboo. There's even a country western song, I think it was Tammy Wynette, that D-I-V-O-R-C, yeah, you know the one. Oh my, times they are changing, huh? Today your children are growing up in a world where marriages fail every day. If you're still married and you want to hang on to that marriage? Here's a couple ideas. Number one, learn to show your love. Men will often respond with, well, of course I love you. Well, when's the last time you said it? When's the last time you showed it in some manner? Psychologist William James said, the deepest principle in human nature is the desire to be appreciated. And if we don't feel appreciated at home, there's a good chance we won't feel appreciated at all. Because generally speaking, the world doesn't fulfill that desire. The best thing you can do for your spouse and your children is to appreciate them and love them. Not based on their performance, but simply because they're yours. Number two, pay attention. Theodore Hesburgh said, the most important thing a father can do for his children is to love their mother. And of course that works the other way around as well. A successful marriage is one that can go from crisis to crisis and just keep getting stronger. Commitment, not emotion, is what carries you through. If you only intend to stay married as long as you feel like you're in love, then you're not truly committed to the relationship. Like anything worthwhile, a good marriage requires constant attention. Number three, protect your time together. If you feel like you ought to be at work when you're with your family and vice versa, something's out of whack. Call a family conference and agree on how much time you should spend together. If you prioritize and protect those times, your marriage will thrive. And that's our good word for the day. Fred, I see your question. What do you recommend as stop losses? For all of the alerts, we don't recommend risking more than $300 per contract, per trade, less when possible. And we teach all of our traders a 3-step methodology to find the appropriate stop loss for each and every trade. We don't, when we train in the morning in the live training room, we use an 8-tick hard stop on everything. S&P, Dow, Russell, Crude, Gold. The reason for that is simplicity's sake. We're trying to teach you our methodology, our strategy. We want your focus to be on the setup, not the stop loss. But we very much believe in aggressive risk management. So we're instilling in you the idea that you must always have a hard physical stop in place. Never worry about that foolishness, how they're going to come and run your stops, and oh my Lord. Yeah, just focus on the strategy. Set your stop. There is no strategy on planet Earth that will prevent you from being stopped out. Well, there is one. It's called not using a stop, and that's the one that will put you out of business. So you don't want to be involved with that. So on the Concierge Trade Alerts and the Logic 247, $300 per contract, less when possible, based upon our methodology. The idea being that if you have to risk more than $300 to find out if your current analysis narrative is going to bear fruit, if it's going to cost you more than $300 to find that out, well, we just don't think that's a high probability opportunity. We think a true high probability opportunity should be able to be approached with $300 or less risk per contract traded. Okay? So hopefully that answers your question. And that's going to do it for today, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.